Imagine a country that right now, as you're watching this, is several meters below sea level, and nobody there is panicking. No sirens, no evacuation, just people riding bikes to work like it's the most normal thing in the world. That's not a disaster movie. That's Tuesday in the Netherlands. This is a country that basically built itself. A quarter of it isn't even natural land. It's reclaimed from the sea, held back by pumps that have not stopped running for centuries. If those pumps ever fail, entire cities disappear underwater. And yet, somehow, this is also one of the happiest, wealthiest, and most laid-back places on Earth. Let's talk about Holland. The Netherlands sits tucked between Germany and Belgium, with the North Sea pressing in from the west. Just under 18 million people live here, packed into a space smaller than some U.S. states, around 41,000 square kilometers. And yet, it's one of the most powerful economies on the planet. Despite its tiny size, it's the second largest exporter of agricultural products in the entire world, right behind the United States. A country you could drive across in a few hours is out-farming nations 100 times its size. Here's the part that sounds fake but isn't. Nearly a third of the country sits below sea level, and the land didn't come to the Dutch. They made it. For centuries, engineers have been draining lakes, damming rivers, and squeezing new land out of the sea, using windmills and later, steam and electric pumps. The word Netherlands literally means low countries. They named themselves after the problem. In 1953, a catastrophic North Sea flood killed nearly 2,000 people in a single night. Instead of retreating, the Dutch responded by building one of the most ambitious engineering projects in human history, the Delta Works, a network of massive storm barriers and dams so advanced it's been called one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. This is a country that looked at the ocean and said, "Not today." Now, walk through Amsterdam with me for a second. You'll notice something strange about the houses along the canals. They lean forward, tilting slightly toward the street. That's not bad construction. It's on purpose. Dutch houses are famously narrow because, centuries ago, property tax was based on how wide your house was facing the canal. So people built tall, deep, and narrow instead. And staircases inside are often too steep and tight to carry furniture up. That's why almost every gabled house still has a hook built into the top, used to hoist sofas and beds straight through the windows. Moving day here looks like a small-scale construction operation. This is also a country punching far above its weight in invention. Philips, the electronics giant, is Dutch. Heineken, one of the most recognized beer brands on the planet, is Dutch. And the technology sitting in your pocket right now owes something to a Dutch engineer named Vic Hayes, often called the father of Wi-Fi, who helped create the wireless standard the entire world now runs on. Art lovers already know the names: Rembrandt, Vermeer, and Vincent van Gogh. 3 of the most influential painters in history, all Dutch. Amsterdam alone holds one of the largest collections of Van Gogh's work anywhere on Earth, housed in a museum built specifically for him. Then there's the tulip. Millions of visitors flock here every spring just to see endless fields of color. But in the 1630s, tulips weren't just flowers, they were currency. Tulip mania saw single bulbs sell for more than houses, one of the first recorded speculative bubbles in economic history, centuries before anyone had heard of the stock market. The Dutch are also famously, almost aggressively direct. There's no small talk buffer here. If your idea is bad, you'll be told plainly, not politely danced around. It's considered rude to sugarcoat things. Combine that with one of the highest levels of English fluency of any non-English speaking country on Earth, and you get a nation where almost anyone, from a taxi driver to a shop owner, will switch to English mid-sentence without blinking. Then there's football. The national team, nicknamed Oranje, has reached the World Cup final 3 separate times and lost all 3, earning the bittersweet, often repeated title of the best team to never win it. It's also one of the reasons the Netherlands regularly ranks near the top of global happiness indexes. Strong work-life balance is baked into the culture, with part-time work being completely normal even in senior jobs. Nobody looks at you strangely here for leaving the office at 5. And then there are the bikes. The Netherlands has more bicycles than people, roughly 23 million bikes for under 18 million residents. There are more parking spots for bikes at Amsterdam's Central Station than most cities have for cars in their entire downtown. Kids learn to ride before they can properly read, and by the time they're teenagers, they're weaving through traffic on 2 wheels in the rain, wind, and even snow, without a second thought. And here's a strange little stat to leave you with. The Dutch are, on average, the tallest people on Earth. Door frames in older Amsterdam buildings were built for people centuries shorter. Which is why so many modern Dutch homes now have oddly tall ceilings and doorways that look almost cartoonishly stretched. Every King's Day, the entire country turns orange, literally, as millions flood the streets in orange clothing for one of the biggest street parties on the planet. Socially, the Netherlands has consistently been ahead of the curve. In 2001, it became the first country in the world to legalize same-sex marriage. Cannabis has been sold openly in licensed coffee shops for decades under a policy of tolerance rather than prosecution. Amsterdam's red light district, one of the most photographed and misunderstood parts of the city, operates under regulated, legal frameworks rather than in the shadows. Whether people agree with these policies or not, the approach here has always been pragmatic first, moralistic second. But underneath all the bikes, tulips, and orange flags is something worth sitting with. This entire country is a bet against nature. Sea levels are rising every year, and climate models suggest the very land millions of people live, work, and raise families on could face far greater flood risk within this century. The same pumps, dikes, and barriers that have protected this country for generations are now being upgraded in a race against time. The Dutch aren't just living in a beautiful, quirky, bike-filled paradise. They're actively, constantly fighting to keep it above water. That's the Netherlands, a country that built its own land, tamed the sea, and somehow still finds time to bike to a coffee shop, buy some tulips, and be brutally honest about your outfit choices. That brings us to the end of the video. See you in the next one. Oh, and please watch the next video.